The text came in at 7:43 p.m., same as always. Working late again. Don't wait up. Sabrina. I stared at my phone screen, sitting in our cramped apartment that smelled like her expensive perfume and my cheap coffee. The IKEA furniture looked as cold as our marriage had become. 3 years of these messages. 3 years of her working late while I microwaved dinners for one. But tonight was different. Tonight, I had her location. Family sharing on our phones. Her idea, ironically. For safety, she'd said with that practiced smile. Safety. Right. I opened the tracking app. Café Luna downtown, not her office building, never her office building. My fingers moved before my brain caught up. I found the contact I'd been saving for weeks. Jessica Chen, James's ex. One quick message. Your fiancé is at Café Luna with my wife. Thought you should know. Send. I set the phone down and waited. The apartment felt different now, like the air before a storm. Everything looked the same. Our wedding photo on the mantel, her yoga mat in the corner, the stack of bills she never helped with, but something fundamental had shifted. The phone buzzed, then again. Then it started ringing. Sabrina's name flashed on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. It rang again immediately, then again. By the time I counted 47 missed calls, I figured Jessica had found them. I poured myself a bourbon, the good stuff Sabrina saved for her important clients, and settled into my chair. The show was about to begin. The front door slammed open at 9:15 p.m. Sabrina burst in, her perfect blonde hair disheveled, her designer blouse wrinkled. Mascara streaked her cheeks like war paint. "You psychotic piece of—" she started, then stopped when she saw me sitting calmly with my drink. "How was work, honey?" I asked, not looking up from my bourbon. "Don't you dare play innocent with me, David. What did you do?" I finally met her eyes. They were wild, desperate. I'd never seen her lose control like this. It was almost beautiful. "I helped a fellow wronged spouse. Community service, you might say." She threw her purse at me. It missed by 3 feet. "That woman is insane." She threw a latte at James, screamed at me in front of everyone. The whole cafe was recording. "James?" I raised an eyebrow. "Interesting name to remember so quickly." Her face went white. You meant your co-worker. The one you've been working late with for 3 months." I reached for the remote and turned on our smart TV. The video was already queued up, security footage from the cafe I'd requested earlier, claiming my wallet was stolen there. Amazing what a sob story and $20 could get you. There she was, my wife of 5 years, kissing another man in a corner booth, her hand on his thigh, his fingers tracing her neck. The timestamp showed 6:30 p.m., an hour before her working late text. Sabrina stared at the screen, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. "Nothing to say?" I asked. "That's a first." Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. The next morning, Sabrina tried to flip the script. "You're sick, David," she said over coffee, as if we were discussing the weather. "Stalking me, manipulating that poor woman. I'm telling everyone what you really are." I almost laughed. Almost. "Go ahead," I said, buttering my toast with deliberate calm. "Tell them how your husband caught you cheating." But she was already working her phone, fingers flying across the screen. By noon, my phone was buzzing with concerned messages from her friends. "David, Sabrina told us you've been acting erratic. Are you okay?" Pamela, her best friend. "Heard you're going through a rough patch. Here if you need to talk." Her sister. "Sabrina's worried about you, man. Maybe lay off the surveillance stuff." Even my own brother. If only I had the energy to be half as evil as she was painting me. Guess I'd have to live down to expectations. I spent my lunch break crafting my response. Screenshots of her location data over 3 months. timestamps that didn't match her stories, text messages I'd recovered from our shared cloud backup, messages she thought she'd hidden. The group chat with her college friends got the best ones. Her detailed descriptions of James, her complaints about our boring marriage, her plans to leave me once I figure out the finances. My favorite was from last Tuesday. David's so clueless, made me dinner while I was texting James. If he wasn't so pathetic, I'd almost feel guilty. I sent it all at 2 p.m. when I knew her friends would be scrolling through their phones, hungry for drama. The response was immediate. Her phone started buzzing during her afternoon meeting. I could see her through the glass walls of her office building from the coffee shop across the street. She kept glancing at her screen, her face growing paler with each notification. By 4 p.m., she was calling me. "Take it down," she hissed into the phone. "Take it all down right now." "Take what down?" "You know what? My parents saw it, David. My parents." I pictured her conservative, church-going parents reading their daughter's explicit messages about her affair. The image warmed me more than my coffee. "Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to redecorate our marriage." She hung up. 20 minutes later, she was at my door. "Give me your phone," she demanded, pushing past me into the apartment. "Excuse me?" "Your phone, now." She lunged for my pocket. I caught her wrist, gently but firmly. "I don't think so." She tried to pull away, then tried to grab at my other pocket. For a moment, we were wrestling in our living room like children fighting over a toy. "You want to see erratic behavior?" I said, pulling out my phone and opening the camera. "Keep going. I'm sure your boss would love to see how you handle conflict resolution." She froze, staring at the recording phone. "One more grab for my property, and this video goes to your entire contact list," I said quietly, "including your new boyfriend." She backed away, chest heaving. "Get out of my house," I said. "It's our house." "Not for much longer." She left. I poured another bourbon and called Dennis at the gym. "Looks like we're in round 2, I told him. "About time," he said. "Come in tomorrow. We'll work on your footwork." The next morning, my car was waiting for me in the parking garage. "Coward" was spray-painted across the windshield in pink letters, Sabrina's favorite color. I laughed out loud. The sound echoed off the concrete walls. Dennis's gym sat under the overpass like a concrete cave, all exposed pipes and flickering fluorescent lights. The heavy bag had seen better decades, but it still took a punch. "Don't get mad, get even," Dennis said, wrapping my hands. "But don't get caught." I used to be the doormat. Now I was the guy rolling out the red carpet, to her ruin. "Tell me about this James character," Dennis said, holding the bag steady while I worked my combinations. "Tech startup golden boy, drives a BMW, lives in one of those exposed brick lofts downtown. Sounds like a real winner." "Sabrina thinks so." I'd been doing my homework. James Patterson, yes, like the author, which he probably thought was clever. Marketing director at Sabrina's company. Engaged once before, to Jessica, until he started playing around. Clean social media, expensive tastes, and a parking spot in the garage under his building. "What's the plan?" Dennis asked. "Depends. How do you feel about field trips?" That evening, I sat in my car across from James's building, watching the parking garage entrance. His blue BMW pulled in at 6:47 p.m. Routine was a beautiful thing. I waited until he parked, then followed him into the garage. The sound of my footsteps echoed off the concrete walls. "James Patterson?" He turned, car keys still in his hand. He was younger than I'd expected, maybe early 30s, with the kind of gym-sculpted physique that screamed insecurity. "Do I know you?" "David, Sabrina's husband." His face went through several expressions at once, surprise, fear, then a cocky smile that made my hands itch. "Look, man, I don't want any trouble." "Then you shouldn't have gone looking for it in my marriage." I stepped closer. He stepped back, bumping against his precious BMW. It's not like that, he said. Sabrina and I, You're what? In love? I laughed. She's using you, James. Same way she used me. Difference is, I'm done being used. I pulled out my phone and showed him a screenshot, his own text messages, the ones I'd found in Sabrina's cloud backup, messages to other women, lots of other women. Recognize these? His cockiness evaporated. How did you... Your girlfriend isn't as careful with her passwords as she thinks. I put the phone away. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to disappear from Sabrina's life, clean break, no contact. And if I don't? I smiled. Then everyone at your office gets to see your extracurricular activities, including your boss, including HR, including that intern you've been messaging. His face went pale. You can't prove anything. I don't have to prove it, I just have to share it. I pulled a small bag of sugar from my pocket, the kind you get at coffee shops. This is for your gas tank. Consider it a preview. You're insane. No, James, I'm motivated. I poured the sugar into his tank while he watched, too shocked to move. Then I took out my keys and dragged them along the side of his car, leaving a long scratch in the pristine paint. Next time, I'll detail your car with your own teeth. He was still standing there when I walked away. But my victory was short-lived. The next morning, I found Pamela waiting by my car. We need to talk, she said. Pamela Richards, Sabrina's best friend since college, blonde, ambitious, and sharp enough to cut glass. She was holding her phone like a weapon. I have screenshots, David. Your little surveillance operation. Your threats to James. All of it. My stomach dropped, but I kept my expression neutral. Screenshots of what? Don't play dumb. I know what you've been doing. She stepped closer. And unless you want the police to know too, you're going to back off. Back off from what? From Sabrina, from James, from all of it. She smiled, and it wasn't friendly. You're going to quietly file for divorce, take your half and disappear. And why would I do that? Because if you don't, I'll destroy you. She walked away, leaving me standing in the parking garage with the taste of defeat in my mouth. But something didn't add up. How did Pamela know so much? How did she get those screenshots? I thought about it all day, turning it over in my mind, like a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. That night, I did something I probably should have done months ago. I logged into our family iCloud account and checked Pamela's phone backup. What I found there changed everything. Voice memos, dozens of them, dating back 6 months. I plugged in my headphones and started listening. Day 43 of Operation Homewrecker. Pamela's voice whispered through my earbuds. Sabrina's finally taking the bait. Told her David would never appreciate her like James would. She's eating it up. My hands started shaking. The beauty of this plan is that Sabrina thinks it's all her idea. She has no clue I'm orchestrating every move. David ruined my career, and now I'm going to ruin his marriage. I remembered now. 3 years ago, when I was still working at the tech company, before the layoffs. Pamela had applied for a position in my department. I'd voted against hiring her, not out of malice, but because her references were terrible. She'd been let go from her previous job for stirring up drama between co-workers. James is perfect for this, another memo continued. Arrogant enough to think he deserves a married woman, stupid enough to leave evidence everywhere. When this all comes crashing down, David will be destroyed, Sabrina will be humiliated, and I'll be there to pick up the pieces. The final memo was from yesterday. David's getting suspicious. Time to flip the script, make him the villain. I've got enough screenshots to bury him if he doesn't cooperate. Either way, he's finished. I sat in my car, staring at my phone, feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. Pamela hadn't been protecting Sabrina. She'd been using her. The storm outside matched my mood as I drove to Sabrina's sister's house, where she'd been staying since our fight. I texted all 3 of them, Sabrina, James, and Pamela. Family meeting. Our house. 1 hour. Come alone, or I release everything. They came. Of course they came. Sabrina arrived first, looking haggard and defensive. James slunk in 10 minutes later, avoiding eye contact. Pamela was last, still playing the concerned friend. "This is ridiculous, David," she started. "You can't just—" "Shut up, Pamela." I connected my phone to our sound system and played the voice memos. All of them. The room went silent except for Pamela's recorded voice, gleefully describing her manipulation of everyone in the room. Sabrina's face went through a series of expressions: confusion, realization, then fury. "You manipulative witch," she breathed, turning on Pamela. "You did this. You ruined my marriage." "Your marriage was already over," Pamela shot back, her mask finally slipping. "I just gave it a push." "Because David didn't hire you?" James looked stunned. "You destroyed 3 people's lives over a job?" "He destroyed my career." "You destroyed your own career," I said quietly. "I just didn't enable it." The argument that followed was spectacular. 3 years of buried resentments exploded in our living room. Sabrina screaming at Pamela, James trying to defend himself, Pamela lashing out at everyone. I recorded it all. Through the window, I could see neighbors gathering on their porches, drawn by the shouting. Mrs. Henderson from next door was definitely filming with her phone. Perfect. "You're all pathetic," Pamela finally snarled. "David, you're a loser who couldn't keep his wife happy. Sabrina, you're a cheater who fell for the oldest trick in the book. And James, you're just a coward who goes after other men's wives." She stormed toward the door, then turned back. "This isn't over." "Yes," I said. "It is." James tried to follow her out, but I blocked his path. "We're not done yet." The startup launch party was Sabrina's big night, 6 months of planning, her chance to prove herself to the investors. The hotel ballroom was packed with tech industry types, all networking and pretending to care about the next big thing. I walked in wearing my best suit, the one from our wedding, and headed straight for the stage. "Excuse me," I said to the MC, flashing the press badge I'd printed that morning. "David Miller, Tech Weekly. Mind if I say a few words about the team?" He handed me the microphone without question. The room quieted as I stepped up to the podium. I could see Sabrina at a corner table, her face going white as she recognized me. "Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about integrity in the workplace." I began with the voice memos, playing them through the sound system. Pamela's recorded confessions filled the ballroom. Then came the screenshots, James's messages to multiple women, Sabrina's texts about our marriage, the whole sordid timeline of deceit. "This is your marketing director," I said, pointing to James, who was trying to hide behind a pillar. "And this is your project manager," I added, indicating Sabrina, who had covered her face with her hands. The room was silent, everyone recording with their phones. "You called me mediocre, Sabrina," I said into the microphone. "I just rewrote your life story in real time." Security was moving toward me, but I was already walking off the stage. Behind me, chaos erupted. Investors demanding answers, colleagues whispering, Sabrina's career imploding in real time. I made it to the parking garage before James caught up with me. "You psychopath!" he shouted, grabbing my shoulder. "You destroyed everything!" I spun around and shoved him against a concrete pillar. "I didn't destroy anything," I said. "I just stopped pretending it wasn't already broken." He swung at me. I ducked, then grabbed him by his expensive shirt and slammed him back against the wall. "Here's what's going to happen," I said, pulling out my phone and showing him the video from tonight. "You're going to disappear. New city, new job, new life. Because if I see you again, if I hear your name again, this video goes viral. Understand?" He nodded, tears streaming down his face. "Good." I let him go and walked toward my car. Behind me, I could hear him sobbing. The rain started as I reached the street, washing the city clean. In the distance, sirens wailed, probably headed to the hotel, where the aftermath of my revelation was still unfolding. I stood in the storm, feeling the water soak through my suit, and smiled. Maybe I was the villain. Maybe I'd enjoyed every minute of it. But let's see them gossip about anything else for the next 20 years.